Aristide didn't hear the bell of his telephone over the racket of radio and ticker tape and typewriter keys. Even if he had, he wouldn't have answered. That was what secretaries were for. Because he hadn't had the benefit of a warning ring, Daoud caught him unawares, head sunk low to a ledger, spectacles sliding down his nose. "Audie?" said Daoud, and when Aristide finally heard his name, it had the air of a third or fourth repetition. "Sorry," he said, blinking as his vision adjusted for the top half of his bifocals. "What is it?" "Telephone." Aristide took off the new spectacles and pressed the heels of his hands into the aching muscles around his eyes. Damned new prescription. Damned old body. "Tell them to ring again tomorrow. I'm ready for a drink." Daoud's lips crimped to one side, tugging the line of his beard askew. "It is His Highness, Prince Asiya." Attention pulled him taut as a piano wire. He set his pen aside with unwarranted care. "All right, send it back." There was every chance this was the warning Aristide had been ready for since last autumn, when he and Merrily Cross sent their first cargo of tar to the newly pacified port of Amberlough. Asiya wasn't vice or port authority by any stretch, nor was he precisely a confederate of cross-costa imports or any of its multiple subsidiaries. Still, he had in the past let hints fall for an old friend. Perhaps out of pity or guilt, since the information Aristide originally cajoled from him led to neither profit nor satisfaction. Cyril de Paul had not appeared from the jungles of Liso. Or perhaps this wasn't about the tar, but in order to cease skimming Parachan aid shipments. Aristide had done his best to keep that from royal or intelligence attention. It had started small, defeated at his original purpose, and pushed south by fighting once war began in earnest. Aristide brought Daoud south and settled in Raram, near the airfield. There was a seedy little bar where the pilots liked to drink, and soon Aristide had a good rapport with Wedi, who kicked a carton or two his way when she thought they might not be missed. Merrily came down from Oulmej when he started to cut in on her market. By then, her city was on the front line anyway, so they set up their company in his backyard. Fewer unexploded shells. They did well for themselves, redistributing rice and tobacco amongst the highest bidders. Police and royal agents largely looked the other way if their palms stayed greasy. But a prince would be another matter, especially now that the war was over and the royal family had face to save and laws to impose in the land they had reclaimed from Republican control, where Parachan aid was sorely needed. Aristide was prepared for a friendly tip. He was prepared for a royal summons. He was not prepared for what followed Asiya's pleasantries. "I have some news about a mutual friend," he said. Their shared acquaintances fluttered through Aristide's mind like a handful of shuffled business cards. Hulan? Lillian? He kept in contact, if irregularly, with both of them by post, and sometimes by radio call if a special occasion warranted, though those were expensive and a pain in the rear to organize. Usually it was letters and occasionally a telegram. In fact, Lillian had cabled him last week with an invitation to an event he had flatly refused. He wouldn't cut the ribbon on a memorial so she could curry favor with Gedda's ministerial candidates. Not that memorial, anyway. "Sorry," he said, realizing that Asiya's silence had dragged into expectancy. "Who is it?" "I cannot say on this line." Which meant clandestine work. Conspiracy, espionage. Aristide had less to do with foxes than with thugs these days. Hulan, Asiya could have mentioned on the telephone. If not her, then... As if the final tumbler of a stubborn lock had given way. The realization snapped into place with metallic clarity. It had been 5 years, but perhaps the jungle had given up its prize after all. "Where?" His fingers tightened on the receiver. Resin creaked at the seams.